You know how tall that bridge is? That bridge, that tower right there goes up 690 feet.
You know all about the bridge, don't you?
That's right. I know everything about that bridge.
Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your one-man hashtag, Chris Chappell. The Verrazano Bridge, America's longest suspension bridge. Since it was built in 1964, it's helped countless American citizens escape from the industrial landfill known as Staten Island and ferry them to the gentle shores of Brooklyn. Now, this old gal needs a little bit of a facelift after almost 60 years of service, which is great. In this time when the American economy is in recession and the mighty steel mills that churned out the raw materials to build this great nation sputter for want of projects to provide the American steelworker with his salary, a multi-million-dollar renovation to a great work of American achievement is just what the doctor ordered. I'm kidding. Screw American workers. We'll just outsource it to China. It's cheaper. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to light my Cuban cigar with a $100 bill and kick back with a good Ayn Rand book. Wow, she did what with a 20-year-old man? So the Verrazzano Bridge is getting a $235 million renovation, but the New York MTA is giving $34 million of its steel production and fabrication to China because the two American companies they looked into just didn't have the manufacturing space, special equipment, and financial capacity to do the job. But according to the United Steelworkers, they were able to find two companies that did have manufacturing space, special equipment, and financial capability to do the job within 100 miles of New York City. So yeah, why China? America has been outsourcing a lot to China, usually because in China they can find people to work 12-hour days for 6 or 7 days a week without adequate safety gear, so things are a lot cheaper than their American counterpart. Wow, Romney was right. Clearly the American middle class is lazy. Why can't things be more like China? Oh, it's also cheaper because most of the steel industry is state-owned and subsidized, which is how they can afford to sell their steel for so cheap because the government just gives them money. But hey, that's communism for you. Maybe Romney wouldn't like it if things were more like China. Now, here's the thing I don't think the MTA realizes. Buying cheap isn't really that cheap, especially when you consider the fact that since July 2011, 6 bridges in China have collapsed, like the 8-lane suspension bridge in Harbin City, Heilongjiang province. It was the result of 2 years of construction and $300 million worth of investment. A 320-foot section of the bridge fell off 9 months after it opened. This is what was left of the 4 trucks that were unfortunate enough to be on the section that fell after the 100-foot drop. So yeah, why are we outsourcing this to China again? And it's not like this is the first time major national infrastructure was worked on by Chinese companies. In 2002, when Chinese steel was used to expand the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge, the project was delayed for months and went terribly over budget because the Chinese steel fabricator had faulty welds. And since these are, again, state-owned companies, all that extra money is going directly to the Chinese government. That's why Chinese steel fabricators are so sketchy that even Chinese companies don't want to use them. Jiang is trying to build an almost 3,000-foot tall building in 7 months in Changsha, Hunan province, and he said he is going to use Chinese steel because of quality concerns. So why is the MTA doing this again? There's actually a lot of things that are made in China that you might not know about. Such slices of Americana as Red Radio flyer wagons, Converse All-Star shoes, Etch-a-Sketch, and $2.8 million worth of American flags are made in China. The Polo Ralph Lauren U.S. Olympic uniforms? China. Your iPad? China. The American Dream? Yeah, Xi Jinping grabbed the rights on that one. Even the Martin Luther King statue at the center of the National Mall in Washington, D.C. was made by a Chinese sculptor and put together in China. So what do you think of the MTA's decision? Rather than creating more American jobs, the MTA is going to give millions to China, which has a proven track record of cocking up bridges. You know, I think it'll be safer for everyone in Staten Island if they just take the ferry. Never mind. Thanks for watching this episode of China Uncensored. Don't forget to like the Facebook page or follow me on Twitter, and check back again tomorrow for another new episode of China Uncensored. I'm Chris Chappell. See you then.